And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. First, let me thank each and every one of you, not just for subscribing and watching, but the comments that I'm getting are extremely important because they help me to figure out what it is that you need to hear and what I need to tell you. On top of that, just make sure that you tell your friends, share with your friends as we decide to continue to grow this community, because trust me when I tell you, we're going to need it. Now, last night, for example, the Social Security Administration's acting commissioner stepped down after DOGE, right, the Department of Government Efficiency, requested access to the Social Security recipient information. And here's a clip from CNN discussing it. Play the clip.
All right, we have some breaking news for you. The acting head of the Social Security Administration has resigned. Michelle King's departure comes after she refused to provide DOGE staffers access to sensitive information. Your information. King had been with the department for 30 years. It's the latest act of resistance meant to slow cost-cutting moves by President Trump and Elon Musk. DOGE had to go to court to gain access to Treasury payment systems, and it is fighting to enter a sensitive database in the IRS.
Yeah, look, I wish that they would have done this for me. Now, I don't want to get personal here, but if they can do it to me, as I've said a million times, they can and will do it to you. Not once, but twice. I had people within the IRS. One was an IRS agent, John Fry, out of San Francisco, and one was an IRS contractor, a guy named Charles Edward Littlejohn, who stole my IRS. They stole my tax information, and they disseminated it to journalists. All right. It's beyond infuriating because now all my info exists on dark webs and elsewhere. Then I'm watching television this morning, and I'm watching as Pamela Brown on CNN interviewed Tim Burchett. Now, he's a Republican from Tennessee, and this guy goes on. He's got the balls to compare DOGE staffers to soldiers. Could you imagine? Play the clip.
But why don't you have those questions as a member of the Oversight Committee? If a Democratic administration was doing this, would you not be asking questions?
And the questions are being asked, ma'am, but I want you to look at these guns.
I'm not hearing them from you.
Those are Japanese. Those are Japanese rifle that, guess what? My dad was 20, 21 years old when he killed the people that carried that. You all don't question the fact that, you know, we've these 20, 22-year-old people, the ones that fight our dadgum wars, but yet
there's a difference between
else,
members of the greatest generation going to war and risking their life to serve our country, and young staffers going in with their computers and trying to get access to personal data. There is a big difference, but I want to follow up here. I just want to follow up because I think this is an important question.
You won't answer your own questions, ma'am.
No, Congress.
Unbelievable. I want you to stop for a second and think. What if the president of the United States at this time was Joe Biden, who was acting, or Kamala Harris, who was acting this way? Could you imagine Tim Burchett just saying, yeah, look, I have these guns over there, 20, 21-year-old, like my pappy, you know, who went there and took these off of two Japanese soldiers, blah, blah, blah. You think that they would be turning around and saying, yeah, I'm all for this. I'm all for all of our personal information and documentation being open and susceptible to a bunch of 20, 21, and 22-year-olds? I have a funny feeling that the answer is no, right? Now, on Newsnight, they discuss the repercussions if DOGE is moving too fast with all of these federal cuts. Look, we're watching the stock market go down, right? Maybe this will prompt Trump and this administration to slow shit down. But right now, the question that everybody's asking, are they moving too fast? Play the clip.
Even if someone dies, or even if someone, because
are you alleging that someone has died from this?
We don't know. I'm talking about when the rubber meets the road. I'm talking about, for example, Kansas City, 30,000 government employees might be laid off. It will destroy the economy of Kansas City. That's okay.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm reading what the individuals from Kansas City have been saying, that they're very concerned.
What do you think they're going to say when they're going to get whacked?
Of course they're going to say that. But my point is, do we think that's smart to live in an American city just go under?
How many American cities need a massively oversized federal government to stay afloat? I mean, isn't that says more about the city than the government?
But when did we get to the point where presidents are measuring themselves by how many people they put out of work instead of how many people they get
And
jobs
not a moment too soon.
Yeah,
This
is crazy.
Soon.
This is absolutely,
because the government only ever gets
big
bigger,
fat
never
chickens.
smaller.
Hopefully they lay some eggs and maybe then we can afford it.
This strikes me as
Yeah. I mean, I truly don't get it. But then again, it's because the people who have money in their pockets, easy for them to say. But Kevin O'Leary, and again, I don't understand why Kevin O'Leary is now a regular on CNN. I happen to know the guy personally, and I think he's a brilliant guy, and he's an awfully nice guy. But I truly don't agree with just about anything he's saying. Now, put him together with Scott Jennings, two guys who are in favor of the cuts, saying that Elon is being patriotic. Why? Because he's working for free. Play the clip.
By the way, Elon Musk has no executional mandate. He can just, he's unique. He's got his own international broadcast network called X. He just finds these issues. He 48 hours publishes them, and you read them, and every American goes, "What is this?"
That way. I've checked
Well,
the
wait,
site. It doesn't
let
quite
me
work that way.
to that
There's
point,
no
Kevin.
executional rights.
To that point, he is using X, and he is using the website
And
DOGE, and you can go on the website and sort of track
You
some
kind
of it.
It doesn't
may
always
not
tell
like
you
it.
what the
Yeah.
thing was.
But
what it
here
did
is
that they
something
cut, but that's
that struck me and that has kind of come up recently. You know, DOGE has gotten some things wrong. We know that they're going to, right? Here are some of the things that they've gotten wrong. USAID did not give millions of dollars in direct grants to Politico. It did not fund the visits of celebrities to Ukraine. It did not fund send $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza for Hamas, nor anywhere else, actually. And it did not pay $84 million to
That's
Chelsea Clinton.
$200 million versus billions that they have
What I
found.
am saying, though, here is this is false information that is put out then on X, and then it is used to troll people, including those who have gotten some of these grants, who are regular Americans just trying to live their lives. And some of the information
False
is false.
information on social media? Oh, no.
Right,
But
but
when the owner is working
when the
for the
owner
government,
is
I mean,
working
it's
for
a
the government,
problem.
And he has no
this is-
accountability.
so is this a good way to do business, is what
I
I'm saying.
think it's great.
Yeah. I mean, need I say more, right? He's working for or a part of the government. I mean, every time you hear somebody refer to Donald Trump, it's Trump and Musk. I didn't know that Musk is taking over J.D. Vance's position as vice president. I mean, have you heard J.D. Vance's name mentioned once since the election? I mean, these cuts, what they fail to understand, these cuts also threaten our national security. O'Leary said that even people with nuclear code should be cut. Play the clip.
I don't think it's happening fast enough. They're not cutting enough. Keep slashing, keep hacking while you have a 24-month mandate before the midterms. Cut. More cutting. Believe me, it's going to work out just great. Everybody
Even
should be
people with
happy
the
about
nuclear
this.
codes, cut them too.
Cut everything. Because if you don't see what they're doing and they can't show you that they're adding value, you whack.
But
it's not clear that they're even.
It's so easy to say, considering, first of all, he has all the money in the world that he's ever going to need. You just can't start cutting people, right, without having some idea on what they do and how it's going to affect the American people. And it just makes no sense. Then Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt spoke to, of course, Sean Hannity about Social Security, saying that there are, you can't make this shit up. There are tens of millions of deceased people who are collecting Social Security benefits. Play the clip.
He is now delivering on it. And I've been fighting fake news reporters all day long here in the Washington, D.C. swamp who are trying to fearmonger the American people into believing that this administration is going after their hard-earned tax dollars and their hard-earned Social Security checks. So I want to set the record straight on your show tonight, Sean, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do so. President Trump has directed Elon Musk and the DOGE team to identify fraud at the Social Security Administration. They haven't dug into the books yet, but they suspect that there are tens of millions of deceased people who are receiving fraudulent Social Security payments.
They suspect. Off of what? Off of what? Off of a comment that Trump made during the campaign? 2020, especially when he said that tens of millions of people voted against him, of course. who are deceased. None of that was proven to be true, but they suspect. So now let's give them the right to go in and start digging through everybody's tax docs. I don't know. Sounds problematic to me. Now, tonight, Hannity is airing an interview with Trump and Elon, which I will be sure to talk about, obviously, tomorrow. But Hannity already previewed this about the interview with, of course, Caroline Leavitt. Play the clip.
I can give a few headlines. There's no conflict between them. There's no power struggle. There's no ambiguity as to who the president is. And what I observe both in front of the camera and behind the camera are people that had a great relationship. I don't want to give too much away. People will decide for themselves. You were there for a lot of it. You agree?
I definitely agree. And I witnessed this relationship firsthand every single day in the Oval Office and at the White House. And President Trump has tasked Elon Musk with administering his America First agenda, just like the rest of us who serve at the pleasure of the president, but most importantly, serve the American people. More than 77 million Americans re-elected President Trump to promote monumental, fundamental change, to shake up the Washington swamp. And there's nobody better than Elon Musk to do that. He is a once-in-a-generation business leader. He sent rocket ships to space. He's far smarter than many of the people who are grunting and moaning on Capitol Hill about these efforts are. And he's the perfect person to help President Trump with this effort. The mainstream media wants to drive a wedge between their relationship, but they are failing. And our entire team is unified behind President Trump to deliver on the promises he made to the American people on the campaign trail.
Wow. God bless her and Sean Hannity and Fox News, because as right now, as I'm sitting here, the stock market's down like 160 some odd points, right? But not if you listen to Hannity and Caroline. It's soaring. It's soaring. Everything is doing great. Seriously? Now, lastly, after all the firings this weekend, especially over at Forest National Park, where they fired a whole bunch of the workers, I want to show you a clip of Jessica Tarlov talking about the effects. Play the clip.
You need to talk about the 3,400 people from the fire service that were fired, for instance. I mean, Donald Trump was out in California talking about how we need more people working on this, that you need to be raking the leaves. Then we're firing people. There, 57% of the land in California is run by the federal government. So you need to do that. Firing these disease detectives when we have measles outbreaks. You could talk about that. Go out to your home constituents and talk about that. The nuclear weapons workers that were fired and then they had to get rehired because that was a mistake. Or even on a day like today, and I understand that the plane flipped over in Canada, that they're firing air traffic controllers and they're showing no cause, not based on performance or conduct for doing that. They did it Friday night on Valentine's Day at 7 p.m. So
not
you talk
Valentine's Day.
The best day of the year. No, but those are real stories that are affecting Americans on the ground. All right.
Guy is such a putz. You know, look, I feel for Jessica. I mean, I don't know how you sit at a table when, after trying to express facts, one guy's got his head buried between his legs like he's kissing his ass goodbye. And then you have the rest of them sitting there rolling your eyes as you're spewing facts versus their opinions, which of course are always, as it relates to Trump, with rose lens glass. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. Look, my friends, again, it's why I say subscribe, watch, comment. I need your comments and share with your friends, because this chaos, it's only going to get worse tomorrow, and then worse the day after, and then the day after, and then the day after. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.